gone again? Never mind. Okay, guys, we're live now. We're live. We even 1 minute earlier than time. Everybody who's watching us, we haven't started yet, but we collect almost every single guest we promised to bring to. And okay, I'll start presentation, and during this 5-7 minutes before the presentation itself, I will introduce you several times, so get used to it. Okay, don't go anywhere, Sky. The guy who just left is Sky Cassidy from United States. Okay, he got back. Okay, we have our speaker. Speaker is Courtney Todd. Courtney, can you make something? Yeah, it's Courtney. Okay, Courtney Todd. She's from Distribion, and okay, I'll let you explain what it is. And she's our main speaker, which means in a 5 or so minutes we'll have her presentation. Okay, and okay, I'll present everybody how it is on my screen. Your screen could be different because I have some special power here. Okay, so on my screen next from Courtney would be Michal. Michal, he's content marketing manager from GetResponse. Yeah, is it correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, I got it. So GetResponse is one of the top biggest email service provider. Yeah, we for some reason, was my choice, we don't use it, and actually I have to say here mostly people use MailChimp. I don't know why. I
GetResponse, so that's okay. I use GetResponse.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, so next on my screen, Moosa Hemani. He is a SEO. He is a blogger from Pakistan. Next one on my screen is Sky Cassidy. We met Sky on our conference. Yeah, we got Rizwan as well. We met Sky Cassidy on our conference, and he was doing very, very interesting presentation about unsolicited email in B2B, which people usually call, well, spam. Yeah, okay.
That's
so,
okay,
yeah, I can use this word. Okay, guys, okay, we have more guests. Yeah, brilliant. We have plenty of guests. Okay, we had Rizwan Balagh. He's content maker. Rizwan, I used to call you SEO, but you're not SEO. You content maker. So you make a lot of contents. He's from Pakistan, and he's a regular on our broadcast. Okay, let's come back to the guest which just came alive, which is Ankit Prakash. Ankit, do something like this so we can see you. Okay, okay. Ankit is he represents and you founder, are you?
Yes. Co-founder of.
Say it again.
Co-founder of EasySendy Pro.
Yeah, it's EasySendy. It's another email service provider. Well, it's not the biggest one, I understand. It's much smaller than GetResponse. We have Michal from GetResponse. Michal, can you do something so we can see?
Sure.
Because why I'm doing it again and again, people are coming all the time. So I started 3 minutes ago, and there were basically nobody. Now we have more people. People are coming. Okay, and we have another guest. Okay, Russ, could you switch on your microphone so you can speak? We have Russ, and Russ is from Charley, and Charley is another email service provider. But I understand Charley is very new to business. Is it? How long have you been in business?
Well, we've been in business as Reco for a number of years, so this is our first entrance into the email side of things. We normally deal in the online marketing side.
Okay, but you hear from you represent Charley.
Yes.
Okay, you can represent Reco as well if you want to. Okay, guys, we still can continue with our pre-presentation chat because I can see we have more people coming. I have to do a couple of things technical. If you can keep some conversation, some Interesting conversation. I would really appreciate. No conversation. Because I have to do some kind of couple of technical things, so I can't even see.
Just simply say that you don't need to do technical things until you need to reply Facebook people, all right? Just not be very honest. Come on, you need to say people. Come on, people! I have started the session. You need to come. You need to join us. Please come. You need to say that. Just chill out.
Actually, not exactly what I have to do. I have to tell everybody.
I've got a question for a lot of you guys. I guess there's several of your companies that do email delivery, and my company provides data for B2B marketing campaigns. And I'm always curious with the email delivery company. I know that Anton mentioned MailChimp, and most email delivery companies are specifically designed kind of for newsletter or opt-in, signed up to receive content type of communications. It's the safest, it's the most common. It's, if you're delivering emails, I think that's probably the goal of where you want to be. Are you guys all in that space, delivering like newsletter type delivery, or what kind of deliveries do you guys manage?
Well, I can speak only for GetResponse, but this is definitely, we are working in the permission-based area. So any customers who we work with have to obtain the list in the first place. You don't have to double opt in with us if you're moving from a different provider, but we highly recommend anyone to do that. Just work with lists they have built over time. Although, as we know, it's not always the case, and people are asking questions about purchasing leads and being able to source data from others.
Interesting. Go ahead. Let me comment real quick on that. I've actually found, because our clients want to use services like you guys whenever possible, the services that allow for purchase lists are always much more expensive because they have to maintain servers, they have to worry about deliverability, they have all these issues letting people come in and use whatever list they want. We always recommend people run campaigns for a while to opt people in. Run white paper download campaigns, run sign up for our newsletter type campaigns, and then actually look to switch over to a service like you guys, because you have so much better delivery rates. Your servers are just, it's a cleaner, smoother service, basically designed for cleaner, smoother marketing. So go ahead, Courtney, I think.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I mean, a lot of our clients had that same request. So in our marketing automation platform, we actually integrated a piece that we call the prospect finder. So we encourage people to use inbound marketing mostly and put in leads that they have people opted in. But we also offer a data purchase double opt-in list that they can go in and select demographics, like over 1 million contacts, 100 million contacts, so they can actually build out a B2B list and B2C list of people who they need to reach for lead gen purposes. And so we've been able to work with data providers like ProspectDB to make that happen. So that's how we kind of balance the inbound, outbound for our clients.
Okay, guys, I think we waited enough. So I'll do it again. I'll introduce everyone who's here, which takes half an hour anyway. And today is unusually crowded here. Okay, we have I'll do it on like my screen from left to right, like Google tell me to do. Google tell us to do basically everything nowadays. Okay, from left to right, I have Ankit Prakash. He's co-founder of EasySendy. It's a well, not the biggest one, email service provider. Next one, we have only woman here, and she is the main speaker, Courtney Todd from Distribion. Next one, top 3 email service provider, GetResponse. Michal represents GetResponse today. Next one, we have Moosa Hemani, prolific blogger and SEO from Pakistan. Next one, we have Rizwan. He's our regular, and he is very famous to asking some difficult questions. So get ready. Next one, Russ represents well, it represents very small. As I correct me if I'm wrong. As for everyone, here represent Charley, which is another email provider, and it's very new and very small. So would be interesting to know how the small and new one would survive when we have really this monstrous one like Mailchimp or GetResponse. And last on my screen, Sky Cassidy. Here represent company which is ProspectDB, called ProspectDB, and well. You specialize on basically getting lists of prospects. Is it correct, Sky?
Yeah, B2B contact information for marketing.
B2B contact information. Put it this way. Okay, I guess we've done and we waited enough. Courtney, it's all yours.
Great, thank you. Let me share my screen and we'll get started. All right. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be participating in this summit, and thank you, Anton, for this opportunity. So I've been working in the marketing and communications industry since my grad school days, and I've worked in a variety of industries, including technology, healthcare, luxury furniture manufacturing, theater, film. But in my current role as Vice President of Marketing for Distribion, I'm responsible for the entire marketing team and every aspect of our branding, public relations, online presence, creative direction, and then, of course, email marketing. So at Distribion, I'm sorry. All right, let's try that again. At Distribion, our offerings are twofold. We offer a targeted email marketing managed service, but we also have a full-feature distributed marketing automation platform. So this platform helps enterprise marketers manage and automate personalized marketing campaigns for local agents across multiple channels, including email and social media, direct mail, surveys, microsites, and more. And then they also have access to real-time reporting. So working for a marketing automation platform company has been a really thrilling experience for me because I've learned all the amazing things that marketer can do with email today to really engage readers and send them emails that they actually want to receive and read. Between hyper-targeting, automation, and personalization, a marketer can quite literally tailor email messages for each and every person on their contact list. And that's what we're here to talk about today, is the most effective channel in marketing. And I like to start off webinars with a really good stat, and this one's impressive. So according to MediaPost, according to MediaPost, email marketing has an incredible 4,300% return on investment, and that's huge. Accessible email marketing software and customized campaigns make it possible to streamline department efforts and get the most bang for your buck. And you know, people respond to emails. They are opening, they're clicking, and they are converting. And that's what should matter to a marketer, right? So that's why email is the most effective marketing channel. So a recent report from the Relevancy Group backs this up. We can see 91% of marketing executives that they surveyed reported that email marketing was the most effective channel for delivering revenue results. But it doesn't mean that email can be your only tactic. They need to be part of a larger marketing strategy that can include your website, online advertising, see traditional promotion, and so events, social media, and more. But you have to have consistent inbound and outbound marketing efforts to engage with potential customers and turn your current clients into brand loyalists. But you know that email marketing can work, but you're here to learn how to make it work better, right? So let's take a look at the types of email you can send before we jump into how to optimize your campaigns. So every company uses email in a different way, but there are a near infinite number of types of emails that marketers can send. So when we talk about email marketing at Distribion for ourselves and our clients, we break it into two categories: acquisition and retention emails. So acquisition campaigns are designed to attract new customers, usually lead nurturing campaigns with special offers, craveable content, or sales messages. So we create a ton of content about marketing in general at Distribion, and we find that we're able to capture a lot of attention with collateral for every type of marketer out there. A piece like our social media best practices guide is great for somebody just getting to know our brand, but while a case study or competitive analysis is the perfect content for prospects closer to the point of purchase. But you need to use your brand's buyer journey outlines to identify content and messaging for a prospect at each stage in your own brand's funnel. Now, once the prospect is a customer, though, your emails can't stop. That's when you need to pivot to retention campaigns. These are emails that are designed to keep existing customers and encourage them to purchase additional products or renew their services. So retention email campaigns could include new product announcements, premium upgrade offers, renewal notices, or birthday anniversary deals. What you need to do is you need to engage with your customers in ways that provide value to them, not just to you. The goal is to get them excited to see your email in their inbox. Avoid being another annoying email that they just need to delete, and only you know what your customers want and need. So you need to use your own knowledge to craft messages with the customer in mind. Now, there are a few ways to get two birds with one stone. Newsletters, product information, discounts, cart abandonment reminders, event invitations. These are just a few examples of emails that can go to both potential customers and existing ones. You can use this list as a starting point to determine what type of email campaigns will be right for your brand's message. But regardless of what type of campaign you are sending, or whether you're a B2B or B2C brand, brick or mortar or e-commerce, all branded email campaigns have certain things in common. Best practices, if you will, to ensure deliverability and increase open and click-through rates, and ultimately conversions. And that's really what I'm here to talk about today. So how do you know if you have a successful email campaigns? Are open and click-through rates enough? But how can you marry these hard metrics with soft ones? So we've put together 7 reader responses that I know signal a satisfied, engaged audience. First up is deliverability. This signals that a successful email campaign is that the reader actually sees the email in their inbox, not their spam folder. So email deliverability is how you measure the success of your emails reaching the inbox without bouncing or being marked as spam. So if you do have issues with high bounces, flagging spam filters, or low engagement, you may very well have email deliverability issues. So your reader can't engage with you if they don't receive your email, right? So spam is a huge issue in email marketing today. Marketing emails are responsible for 70% of spam complaints. Spam accounts for 14.5 billion messages per day in the US. And spam costs just American consumers and firms nearly $20 billion each year. So if you're a business using email marketing, you are required in some countries by law to adhere to certain rules. Like America has a law called the Can Spam Act, which is in place to fight spammers and can result in fines in the tens of thousands of dollars. But since we have an international audience here today, I'm not going to go into the American Act in detail, but you need to check your own country's laws so you are in full compliance before you hit send. So laws that you can expect, like the Can Spam Act, they include rules against deception and false information, but they also have requirements for corporate disclosure and opt-out links. So once you've covered the letter of the law and you're 100% that you are compliant, it doesn't mean that your email is going to automatically end up in the reader's inbox. There are still factors that can and will affect your deliverability. So your reputation makes a huge difference. If people are marking your emails as spam, or you're sending to spam trap emails, getting a lot of bounces, or very little engagement, your reputation, otherwise known as sender score, is going to plummet. And it's really quite difficult to recover from this once it happens. So another major factor that affects your deliverability is list hygiene, which is closely related to some of the reputation issues that I've mentioned. So what you need to do is keep your contact list as clean and segmented as possible. Have an automatic unsubscribe system that people can easily click to be removed from the mailing list. And basically, you want to make sure that the people you are sending emails to have opted in and want to receive your emails. So other factors that can affect your deliverability rates include sender, subject line, and email design, but I'm going to be expanding on those a little later in the presentation. So one way to avoid ending up in spam filters is to test your email sender score before sending. So one thing I love about the Distribion platform that we use in-house is the email preview. It shows how our email is going to look in over 30 popular email clients and mobile devices. So, and it also gives us firewall and filter test results and lets me know which elements in the email could be flagged as spam, like if there are too many images or there's no unsubscribe link. All right, enough about spam. So let's move on and talk about creative for a bit. So the next reader response to a successful email campaign would be that they open the email. So what actually drives open rates, though? After you've tackled any deliverability issues and that you are confident that your email is making it to your audience's inboxes and avoiding that dreaded spam label, you now get to focus on your next challenge. How do you fight inbox overcrowding and capture the attention of your readers? So there are 4 main factors that can affect your open rates. First up, send date and time. When should I send? Well, it depends. There isn't a single perfect time for every marketer to send every email, but there probably is a near perfect time for your company to send your messages. And that time could vary by message, with different messages to different audiences having its own, quote, perfect time. But a few factors to consider when deciding to send that first campaign. Are you a B2B or B2C company? When does your buyer have the most time to consider your offer? And when will he or she be in the mindset to hear your message? The type of email you're sending plays a part as well. Think about the message you're sending and when your reader will be most receptive. Are you trying to get a new customer or keep an existing one? The third, when you're thinking about your audience, B2B, B2C, new or existing, consider if a weekday is the right time or possibly the weekend. And then tradition and statistics will tell you that the most common time of day to send emails is between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. But is that necessarily the best time to send your email? You want to consider your reader's schedule and then craft your email to maximize the impact of your campaign. But what I will recommend above everything else is to test. So you want to test it. You want to see what works best for you. Try different dates and times until you start to see a pattern, and then test some more. Next is sender name. Who will your audience respond to, and who are they expecting to receive the email from? It's not always your brand name that's going to work best. Things to consider include name, brand or person, job title, gender, and ethnicity. The sender name can vary based on location, product, message, etc. The most important thing, though, is that your reader recognizes that it's from you and opens the email. And you need to stay consistent so that they continue to identify your brand with your sender name. So third on the list is subject line. The question you should ask for any subject line that you write is, will it engage the reader? So my marketing team writes at least 10 subject lines for every single email they send to brainstorm the best ones that they can come up with. So as you begin your own brainstorm, here are some best practices to keep in mind. First is to keep it short. iPhones will cut off a subject line over 32 characters, but the ones in Gmail go on forever. So you need to put your most important words first, but then make the whole thing count. One way to approach subject lines is to lead with a question or a sense of urgency. This gives readers a reason to open your email. Last chance, limited time offer, 2 days to go. All of these incite curiosity and a need to take action as soon as possible. Focus on a benefit to the reader. The email is for them, not you. So give them a reason to open your email out of all the others in their overcrowded inbox. Know that they will know that they will gain something from this interaction if you're focusing on them. Next is to be honest. No deceptive, generic, or spammy language allowed. Not only does it violate laws like the Can Spam Act, but you're better than that. Your brand is out to gain trust with its audience, not fool them into opening an email. And deception will lose you customer faster than you can hit send. Next is personalization, also known as one-to-one marketing. And it's been around for a few years, but it's become extremely easy to do with marketing automation platforms that use edit or personalization tags in the HTML. And it automatically inserts contact information from an existing database. First name, company name, last name, phone number, website, etc. So in a study conducted by Experian in 2013, they found that personalized promotional emails had 29% higher unique open rates and 41% more unique click-through rates. Since then, personalization has only become more accepted and more expected by consumers. So if you do have the data, why not make it personal? Lastly is use special characters, but only if it makes sense to your brand and your message. A pizza chain including a pizza and smiley face emojis in their subject line makes sense. I can't honestly say the same is true for a life insurance agent trying to get a customer to renew their policy. We had one email client at a local art museum, and they saw a 48% increase in open rates using special characters during an A/B test. That's really impressive, but it was a good fit, and it resonated with the message they were sending. It won't work for every brand, but it could be worth testing when you feel it's the right time and the right message for your reader. So last on our list is pre-header copy. So the subject line and the pre-header go hand in hand. The pre-header is a snippet of copy pulled from the body of your email and is typically displayed as text at the very top of the email that will follow the subject line or display below the subject line in a reader's inbox view. As you can see here, Gmail previews the pre-header text right after the subject line in the inbox on the left. Now, you're not going to necessarily see the pre-header text on mobile or in email clients like Outlook, but you need to consider all email clients when creating your email. I'm going to quickly touch on some best practices for this pre-header content, but keep in mind that those that we discussed with the subject line are going to hold true for pre-header as well. So first step, don't repeat the subject line. You want to provide additional information for the reader to better understand why they should be opening the email. Use enticing copy that complements the subject line. Add to the message, don't detract from it. And just like with the subject line, focus on a benefit to the reader. You give them another reason to open and see what you have to say. Now, here's a couple things to avoid in your pre-header copy. First is alt text. So if the first thing that on your email is an image, then the pre-header text will just show the alt text for that image. So we suggest either adding a line of text above the image as seen here, or you can use some HTML hacks to hide preview text or alt text as preview text, but I know I have to get my developers to help me with that. But another common practice I see nearly every day is view in browser, or if you're having trouble viewing this email, click here. This is very valuable space. Don't waste it. You want to give your reader the view in browser option within the email, but wait until they open it. Don't take up valuable real estate in the inbox with copy that's not going to convert. Finally, my personal favorite, unsubscribe. Is that really the call to action you want your readers to have in mind before they even open the email? I can't tell you how many times I see this in my own inbox. But you need to take a moment as you're creating your email to understand the entire journey that your reader is going to go on and build out your subject line, pre-header, and message from there. I'm going to say this again, you need to test. We encourage our clients to A/B test everything. We personally never send out an email that we haven't A/B tested the subject line and send date and time, and it's often an ongoing test throughout the entire campaign. We often test copy content, email content as well. So because people are unpredictable, but that's why we constantly test so we can find the patterns of both our prospects and our customers. Okay, so you've enticed your reader to open your email, right? So now what? What's the first thing they see? What calls them in and makes them want to stick around and read the entire email? Even click through to a landing page? Well, it's the combination of message and design, right? So let's talk creative first and then move into content. I'm personally a designer at heart, and so bad design kind of haunts my dreams, but good design is something that keeps me around and makes me keep coming back to a brand's emails. There are many keys to great design, and email is no exception. So I'm not going to step on your graphic designer's toes here. Not going to talk about white space or typography or even image selection. But what I'm going to do is walk you through some best practices. So the reader response that I tie most closely with design is that the reader reads the entire email. Now, message copy is just as important here, and we're going to get to that very shortly, but a great design guides a reader through an email so they can soak up the copy as they go along. Great design is more than just eye candy. It can emphasize the most important points and even lead your reader where you want them to go. All right, 80% of people are only scanning your email, according to a Nielsen study. You do it, I do it. It's the only way we can get through our inboxes. So your design has to capture your reader's attention. So beautiful imagery and a big, bold headline can help you avoid that trash bin and quickly get your reader engaged. So when it comes to email design, you have to cover the basics before you can fill in the fun stuff. Emails should be approximately 500 to 600 pixels wide to fit properly in any email client. And by designing with this in mind, you can ensure that your readers are viewing your email as you intended on any device. Second rule of thumb, pasting a big JPEG or PDF into an email and pressing send doesn't cut it these days. Email clients will tag such campaigns as spam, and readers will often just see a big blank screen if you don't have text in addition to images. A ratio of 2 to 3 images to text is a safe bet to stay out of the spam filter and displaying properly for your reader. So on this example, all of the blue arrows pointing to JPEG images and the arrows with areas with gray areas are text. So the HTML designer here created colorful buttons and header and footer areas to make at least 2/3 of this email text. So what happens when those images disappear and only text remains? That is where alt text descriptions come in. Alt text is just as important on email campaigns as it is for any web page you create. But why is it important? Well, alt text is essential for visually impaired readers. Including accurate alt text is the only way that screen readers can describe the image on screen. But secondly, most email clients block images by default, especially if you're not saved as a safe sender in their contact list. So this means that instead of showing the image, the email client is going to display a blank or gray box with the alt text inside. So let's take a look at an example. Here's our beautiful Acme New York travel email, but without the images, the message still comes across to the reader with the copy only. Now, your email isn't going to capture their hearts and minds the way it would with those beautiful images, but at least your reader isn't seeing just a big blank space where your email should be. But what should you be putting into your alt text descriptions? Well, you want to accurately describe what is in the image with a call to action if appropriate. Let's take a look at what is behind a couple of these images. Number one are your social media icons. Everybody's on social these days, at least one network, right? So, but instead of labeling them Facebook logo or Twitter icon, go with an action verb. Connect with us on LinkedIn is a great way for people to see what you want them to do with the image when it isn't available. Number two is your header image. This can be very, very important for any email. So you want to add to the text instead of just copying the headline. Don't just repeat, visit vibrant New York City. Choose additional text that will call to your reader. We want to see a Broadway show in Times Square to match the image so the reader knows what to do. If the image does have text on it, though, we recommend including that text in the alt text in addition to or in place of the image description. So there are a lot of great sources out there on how to write and set up accurate alt text for images. So I'd get on Google and see what you can find. I don't have time to go into all of those best practices today, but if you're unsure how to add alt text to your emails, know that any reputable email marketing software is going to provide this option every time you add an image to the email template. You shouldn't have to go to too much trouble to make this happen. So next, you want to help your calls to action stand out by designing buttons for links in your emails. So you can also make images linked to related landing pages in addition to buttons. So by doing this, you're capturing your reader's eye with more than just a bit of underlying text. Clickable links, they will also play a big role when email is viewed on mobile devices. So speaking of mobile, let's take a moment to talk about responsiveness. Now, it's a hot button topic right now, and for very good reason. According to a study done by Movable Inc., 67% of emails are opened on a mobile device, and smartphones alone make up 50% of all opens. So if your email is not mobile responsive, I promise you, you are losing readers. Whether you are B2C, B2B, B2B2C, your potential customers checking their email on their phone. So make it a good experience for them. I don't have time to dwell on the technical differences of desktop versus mobile versus tablet, but I'm going to hit a few high points. First up, notice how the mobile email slides everything into one column instead of just shrinking the size down. There's no zooming needed. The buttons are large enough to be clicked with the pad of a finger. Number 3, don't forget in the footer to make sure that all phone numbers link to a call this number pop-up and addresses linked to a map with directions pop-up as well. Next up, you want to keep the header clean. Otherwise, all your reader is going to see on the phone is navigation. Give them the message immediately. So I want to remind you about the subject line here as well. 32 characters on an iPhone is all they see. So, but preview text doesn't matter as much for mobile, but remember you're optimizing across all devices. Number 6 is it's a good rule of thumb is to design with your reader in mind. Think about where they're going to click, what they're going to need on mobile, and make sure that you're designing for the user. And it may not look that different, but that's because it shouldn't. Mobile design should be subtle, but user-friendly. So remember this slide from our section on email deliverability? It doubles for this topic too. Each of those little boxes on the left show what our email will look like on web-based email clients and mobile devices. On the right, you can see how one of our past webinar emails looked on an iPad mini. Now you can be sure that your reader is getting the best email experience no matter what device they're viewing it on. All right, now that we've covered design, let's talk about message. All of these go hand in hand, but your message helps your reader to understand exactly what the email is offering so that they do know what to do next. Now, keep these things in mind as you craft any email campaign. First, be short, be clear, and get to the point. Only use as many words as you need, or less. In the age of 140 characters, your audience cannot bear to read too much. So find what you want to say it, and let the images and call to action do the rest. Be relevant. Now, relevancy is different for every brand, every product, and every audience, but you know when your message fits and when it doesn't for your audience. Be truthful. Don't lie to a customer to get a click. They'll never click again. Triple check your spelling and grammar, if not more. Nothing makes you look less professional than a misspelled word or bad grammar. Run it through a spell check, of course, but those don't always catch it all. Get a couple more sets of eye on your email before you send it out. So let's talk calls to action for a moment. Now, I'm going out on a limb here, but after subject line, I will say that the call to action is the most important element of a brand's email campaign. Side note, merely informative campaigns are useful, but they're not necessarily the topic today. We're looking at what makes readers convert. So your CTA needs to be clear, clickable, and above the fold. You want to make it painfully clear what you want your reader to do. Whether it's in an image or a button, your CTA needs to stand out. Give your audience 1 to 2 options. Don't make it too confusing. This client went with Learn More and Book Now. Clear, to the point, colorful buttons, and near the top of the email. So we recommend that the most important call to action is a button with text, not a text link in the copy or just an image. The text link doesn't really stand out enough, and especially on mobile where they can't click it easily. And then with just an image, there's a strong possibility of it not showing up at all, depending on the email client or their Wi-Fi. Now, on a side note, you'll notice here on this email that there are also social media icons and contact information at the bottom. These aren't primary calls to action like the Learn More or Book Now buttons are, but they're important to include in every email to give readers an option to engage in other ways. All right, as we're coming low on time, we are going to fly through the last 3 reasons, but they are fairly self-explanatory and are a result of what's happened before, the first 4. So number 5, the reader appreciates the message. This is a very soft metric, but that doesn't mean that it's not imperative. It encompasses the entire reader experience. So when a reader appreciates the message, it means your email got delivered, your subject line worked, and your design and copy complemented each other in a seamless, brand-centric fashion. To accomplish that, you followed all the best practices, identified the right message for that prospect stage in the buyer's journey, and captured their attention. So what does that mean for the final responses? 1, it means that they won't mark the email as spam. When you add up the first 5 reader responses, you'll get a successful email campaign that has resonated with this reader. And a clear way to gauge this is to see how many people mark your message as spam or unsubscribe altogether. The fewer people who are taking a negative action, the better your campaign is resonating, and your targeting is actually working. Now, it's simple to measure, but hard to fix if you've made some bad choices and end up getting flagged as spam one too many times. Now, finally, we make it to the last, but it's the most important reader response, that the reader knows how to take action and then does. Where are you driving the reader? What does your call to action say? Is it a phone number, a landing page with a video, a form they need to fill out, a call to purchase a particular product or renew a policy? The most effective way to measure the success of your campaign is to track how many people are doing what you wanted them to do. So that wraps up the presentation part of it. Appreciate you listening. So I'm going to go back to let Anton take the screen over now. See.
Yeah, just stop sharing it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, guys. Let's do. Anyone? Moosa, you were here for asking some question. I don't know if you do have some.
I got a couple of questions sent in first, like before we move on. Courtney, first question is that you said 4,300%. That is return on investment. That's a big one.
Yeah.
But the question comes up. Does it come from the rich text emails, or either come from the promotional emails, or it comes from the flyers or the ebooks? Because when we send an email, we send different promotions or different advertisements. Like in Alibaba made $14.3 billion sales only in one day. So we could not say that whole year was considered as a sales year. It was just a single day. So a single pattern like rich text or the flyers or the promotional image, what gives you the 4,300% or the average or the big portion of the email marketing? Second is, the second more question is the email size, because you did not discuss what the email size could be. Because if I have an antivirus which does not allow sometimes emails which are larger than 30 MB, sometimes it does not allow the email is less than that. So if I get an email from Fiverr, one email goes to my inbox, the other one goes into my spam folder automatically because the size of the email is huge. Okay. Third is,
wait,
how can we make sure?
Sorry, can I answer one question at a time, and I can go back? Sure. Sorry, it's going to take me a while to remember all that. Okay, the first question I think was about the stat about 4,300%. That came from a study by Media Post, so I can always give you that link. But they didn't. It was a general stat that I included. So I think it's just very general about all email marketing. So it would be sales and marketing emails, as far as I know. But I can send you the link to that study for a little more information on how they got that number. I just got it from a study that had been released.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. And then on the sides of the emails, I personally, we have developers that deal with that, but we always recommend that any images you use are safe for web. So they're the smallest as possible. You want to make your email as small as possible. And that's one of the reasons why you don't want to just send a JPEG and a PDF out there as well. You want the 2 to 3 text to image ratio or image to text ratio is huge to make sure that your email is small enough to not end up in the spam folder. Is that
okay?
Right? Okay. So
Yeah, but still the size matters. Okay.
It does. It
So
absolutely. Completely agree.
2 more questions left. The second one, the third one is what I've been doing nowadays is like I'm sending an email from one domain or another one. For example, it's abc.com. That's my core business, okay? Whereas I'm sending the emails are from abc.org, okay?
Right.
So that's a different domain that I'm using. But I get a very different response in regards to opening an email when the domain name is considered. For example, if I'm sending an email from no reply at abc.org, gives out a different result, whereas I get a very different result from support at abc.org. Why is that so?
Oh, I think that's one of the reasons that I suggest that you test hindering, because people will respond to those email addresses much differently, and then what you name the email address on top of that, you've got the email address and the actual sender name. So I know for me, I'm going to respond to support, not no reply or open those more often, just because it feels like it's coming from a person or somebody that's going to have a more important message than something that's just no reply. We find that in our email marketing, putting a person's name as opposed to Distribion marketing or something like that, it actually makes a huge difference. They want that personal touch, something from one of our content marketing managers or one of our business development executives instead of just sales ad or info ad or marketing ad. We find that the personal touch actually helps in our B2B, but sometimes in B2C it doesn't. So if you're getting a message from a clothing retailer, you want to know it's the clothing retailer, not somebody just from their marketing team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, but still I'm going to review go for it again. Okay, I got one last question. Why everybody, like I've been talking to people around the world. I've been talking to people in India, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in the United States, in UK, in Peru, Lima. The people that I've been talking to, they consider email marketing as the most spam marketing for any industry, okay? For any industry. Rather than, for example, I have a blog that is based on information based. It's not a marketing blog. It's an information blog. I get good response on the informational blog email as compared to the one that I do for the marketing. Why is marketing as a spam nowadays?
Well, I don't think all marketing is spam. I think there's a lot of great marketing emails out there. I mean, not all emails are spam, marketing emails. I think there's a lot of great marketing emails out there. I know I get some every day that I use. I mean, sale emails, renewal reminders. Hey, we've got a webinar coming up. Like, those are things that I personally respond to, and I know we all have those things with brands that we have connected with in the past. From a marketing standpoint, we find that informational and educational material is really helpful in bringing people back to your brand if that fits your brand message. If you're, for retail clothing retailer, you just want to sell clothes, and telling people how they're made may not hook them. But being in marketing, telling people how to do marketing does bring people to our brand. So I don't think that email marketing is all spam. I think it can be very useful and beneficial, and people like to see it in their inboxes, as long as it isn't actually just a bunch of sales guys trying to get you on the phone.
All right. Thank you so much, Courtney. Thank you very much. Ankit, it's all yours.
I don't know, guys. Moosa, do you have any questions?
And I just want to know, when you're working for an e-commerce store, so you probably have to send the emails So maybe I've been subscribed to like quite a few e-commerce websites. Some send the email maybe after a week. Some send the emails every day, containing different things. What I'm saying is like, what number is considered as too much or too little? Because if you're sending too many emails, that's irritating. If you're not sending any email, you're losing your branding. So what is too much?
Oh, I don't think there's an answer for that. I think it is absolutely dependent on your business and your business model. I have clothing retailers that I get emails from every single day, and I open every single one. But I have emails from people that I open once a month because it feels like, you know, too much. So I think it really is about testing, and then depending on your messages to your audience. But I also think one other thing that you can do is to really interact with your customer base and see what they want. You can provide when people have an unsubscribe option or when they sign up, you can give them, hey, how often do you want to receive our emails? That's a great way to...
That's more like building a persona or something.
Yeah, so when they sign up, like for your newsletter, your blog, you say, okay, are you signing up for weekly, daily, monthly, yearly? You know, how often do you want to hear from us? So, you know, you can test your existing customer base, but then you can go ahead and put something in front when they first get in, and then they can tell you how often they want to receive it.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Sure thing.
We have a question from audience. It's in the chat. If you can read it out loud. Anyone actually. There are so many experts, but well, Courtney or anyone else.
I think the question disappeared. I don't see it.
No, it's
Anyone else?
okay. If you move mouse on the screen, and it's a top left corner, blue. If you on the blue, yeah. Okay, you got it.
Thank you.
You have to read it out loud.
So, is it how do you associate your readers with your sales funnel?
Yeah.
Is that the right one then, Tom?
Yeah, this one.
So, how do you associate your readers with your sales funnel, and what are the criteria to classify them according to their responses to your mail? And what automation do you apply to do that? Does anybody else want to take a shot at that?
Well, I can just give you some points from what we do. So we do have a big content readers base, and we of course have separate lists for more promotional campaigns. So we do compare those databases with each other, and we look at, so for example, what kind of pages on our site these readers open, whether they download our white papers, whether they check the pricing pages, whether they have created a free trial account, what sort of features they have used, or what messages they have opened, and then we just try to put those links together, and basically based on those few things, we try to tailor the content that we can send them. So for example, if someone's for the first time on our page, it might be too early for them to receive an information about how much it costs. But if they have been on the page more than once and they have read our content, they've tried a few things, then it might be high time to to send them a little push, a little discount, or something like that.
Yeah, completely agree. I know something that's been really big in the last couple of years also are like the buyer personas, where you actually take existing customers and put them into, hey, this person is on these social networks and they respond to this type of content and they want to purchase at this price point with this type of product. And then we build out, certain, however many of those you need to the kind of buyers that are coming to your site. And that's how you can start to develop content and email campaigns around those personas.
Sure.
Okay, guys, don't put your contacts here. They're asking for contacts. Okay, I will put yours, Courtney. Don't worry about that. But you guys, you can do it, but not here or down there on a high performance. Okay, I have actually a question. I have a question to few guys which represent a smaller email service provider. Okay, Russ, question to you. Is there a lot of service provider here in this space? MailChimp is a king, and another one local one, EasySendy, which is a local one, works better with a Russian language, for example. How can there are so many of them? There are big ones, enormous ones, or 3 of them at least, a great big one. How the small one, new one, can actually survive? Ankit, you next one for this question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's one of those things that we struggle with, but we spend a lot of time with our customers to find out, what are the things that they struggle with, because we want to build an email platform that could answer those needs. Courtney, one of the things that rang for me in your presentation was, when's the best time to send an email? Because nobody really knows.
Yes.
So one of the things that we have in our system is, since we tie together the online experience and the email portion, we know when the last time a person opened an email. So if you send an email through us, we would just query the database and say, okay, well, when did Courtney last open our email? And then that's when we would send it the next time. So it kind of takes the guesswork a little bit out of when to send that email. One other thing was when you talked about segmenting your list, so who gets what. Again, since we do have insight into the online portion, we can build a very easy list on the fly, something like find me everybody that's been to my site 5 times within the last month, and they're looking at the jackets category. So then that list is much more segmented at that point. The message is going to be tailored to those people, so the likelihood of them opening it, I think, increases just because of the relevancy of the content. So, Anton, just to go back, some of the things that we can't compete with some of the bigger companies, we try to counteract that by giving tools or creating tools that make it easier to do email marketing, because our target market are not necessarily the people that have the staff of 50 to handle their email marketing, but more the 2 or 3 people that wear 50 different hats throughout their day. So by doing things like Smart Send, building a list of subscribers on the fly, and also something that we call Recycler. So if you send out a blast to your list of 50,000 people, only a small portion of those actually open up the email. Rather than going back in and finding out who didn't open it, a simple toggle would build that list on the fly, and then you can schedule a recycled email to go out, whatever date you want, change the subject, change the message, change the offer. So without having to do much prep work, you can ping those people again, but only ping the ones that didn't open your initial email.
Okay, Ankit, what about your take on this question?
So,
How the smaller one can survive?
cool. So it's more like we are niche focused. We are more focused into B2C space, where all the vendors need to send a lot of emails at once. For example, they are switching up emails to 50,000 email list or 100K email list at once. So what we provide over here is the email relay server capability, so that they can route their emails to various email relay servers like Amazon SDS infrastructure. They can route their emails. They can route their emails through Mandrill. They can route their emails to SendGrid. They can route their emails through Mailgun. So, for example, if they have designed an email campaign at one dashboard, they can send relay. They can send all these emails through all these 5 or 4 email relay servers at once. So, what happens when your email campaign goes through these 3 or 4 different email relay servers? Your inbox landing capability increases. So this is one of the research which we have been doing for last 6 to 7 months, and it's been pretty much successful. And what we have observed, like when you send emails, for example, up to 5,000 email subscribers at once, and if you are sending the same email campaign to 10,000 email subscribers at once through one single ESP, your email open rate declines. So when you are adding 2 or 3 different relay services into one, you can deliver the emails at once, and your email open rate increases. So this is one of the very fruitful results we have seen using different relay servers from one single dashboard. Another thing, what we are focused right now, we are focused on catering demands for the emerging markets. So when we say emerging market, it's like India, it's like Mexico, it's like Southeast Asia. So in these regions, what our customers usually say that they have built up email list over past 5 years, over past 10 years, but they have not been using email market solution for this span of time. So now, if we are going to Mailchimp, if we are going to Aweber, if we are going to any email service provider, they usually block us because our email bounce rates are high, because our spam rates are high, because today we are studying email marketing. So for that, we are right now we are planning to provide them email hygiene solution where they can clean their email list first, and then they can start sending through email relay services. So these are some of the new findings what we have seen in these emerging markets. Yes.
Okay,
And
Michael. Yeah. Okay, we lost a couple of guests. They had to go. Well, obviously, we all have to do something. Okay, Michael, the next question is to you. Okay, you hear about 2 smaller ones. Did they say anything you cannot do?
Well, of course, there are some features that are not there yet. They're up and coming.
So they can beat you in something.
I mean, so for example, what Ankit just mentioned, like sending through different ESPs. Of course, since we're one ESP, we only send the emails through us. However, as Russ mentioned, for example, we have also quite recently launched a feature that allows you to send a message based on the previous engages of the subscriber. So, for example, we analyze a few times when they open the email, when they click, and then send a message based on that activity, which is actually working out great for us as well, for our internal communication and for our content messages. To be honest, one of the good things with any ESP is that, like with the smaller or medium ones, I think we consider ourselves as medium as well when it comes to the team size. We are more flexible when it comes to custom development. So, for example, we have an account management team that takes care of newsletter campaigns or all email campaigns for our customers, and they do everything for them. They put up the messages, send them out, analyze the deliverability, etc. And that's one of the good things that the biggest providers don't offer, is because you have a full-on account manager there that helps you out with everything. And it's great for us as well because we learn a lot more on our customers, on what they do, on their businesses. And well, it's good for them because they have the full-on training and everything that they need. So, I mean, all email service providers have their own, pros and cons, I guess.
Okay, Moosa, you're laughing. Do you want to say something?
Oh no, I'm just listening to things.
Okay.
Gain of knowledge.
Okay, I'm just for some reason you kind of became lazy. You don't want to put your own contact details to hypercomment, so I have to copy them. So I can't really concentrate on the conversation. Okay, I'll check again if you do have any questions. So far, it doesn't seem to be the way. Anyone want to say something? Okay, this space is a little bit of self-selling. I don't mind if you have something.
Perhaps I could add a comment on what Courtney has been asked before on how to not make your email campaigns look as spam, and how often should you be sending out emails. Well, what we've noticed is with customers as well, or our own communication, is just you look at the unsubscribe rates, on the complaint rates, and you analyze on that. As long as your engagement levels are high and you're still sending, you can perhaps increase the amount of emails that you're sending. And it depends on the business. You have some businesses that you can send every single day, and as Courtney mentioned, some brands that we love and we can read their emails every single day and we're not bored with them. If you're listening to, I don't know, or reading stock exchange information, that you will be reading that every day more than once. But if you're, for example, looking for a flat or baby carriage or anything related to baby products and you don't have a baby, then perhaps reading about it only once a year or every few months will be good enough.
We have a question, but I don't really understand. Maybe you understand it. Where you take email boxes. Alex, do you understand? Anybody understand the question? Where are you take email boxes? Alex, it's not clear question. If you can rephrase it, so we can get it answered. And guys, we've been here for more than 1 hour. So if guys who are watching us, if we do have questions, just say now or never. Okay, it's a joke. Okay, thank you very much. I'll do a last check, but thank you very much for all of you. First, thank you, Courtney, for very interesting. I never really understand email marketing. I knew it's most cost-effective one. I knew it's easy. It seems to be easy. You press a button, and and what happened next? Yeah, and it's always as email marketing is a spam, or is it art, or is it art of spam? I don't know. Okay, thank you very much, Courtney. Thank you guys for who stayed with us till this time. If you want to say something, as I said, a little bit of self-selling. Ankit, Russ is no problem. Or Michael, you don't really have to sell yourself. Well, you kind of.
I got a thing to do. I got a thing to say. Okay, so you guys are into email marketing a lot of times. What we face, I'm the service provider. I provide services mostly in the inbound marketing area where email marketing is a part of it. So, and especially automation is actually the part of it. What I'm really expecting, not today, but in the next presentation or somewhere, whenever you got the time, Courtney or Michael, somewhere else, Russ even. I'm actually looking for a presentation where we can discuss more about automation in detail, like the email automation or maybe the complete digital marketing automation into the detail. Like currently we talk about how to send the emails and sending what are the do's and don'ts of sending the email, what the time to send the email. But when it comes to the retention and acquisition and retention emailing, like for instance, what messages you should be sending when the customer is now with you, or how to send nurture emails one by one. So, I mean, more into that area. This is something where most of the people go wrong. Even I go wrong. I
completely agree. We are actually, this is the first in kind of a series that we're bringing for Distribion. And thanks to Anton for letting me start it here. But marketing automation, like tackling and all of those, like that's going to be kind of it's a fall initiative for us. So I definitely love to talk to you offline about, maybe partnering or just getting to understand what kind of questions people are asking, so we're presenting the right information. Because we have a lot of clients who ask the same thing. What are those best practices? What types of emails can we send?
Exactly.
What order? What's too much? All of that stuff. So I think it's definitely there isn't enough information out there about it, but there is a lot. It's based on industry, a lot of it that we find. So I think tackling it industry by industry is possibly a good way to go about it. But we're still in the very early development stages of that webinar. But really exciting stuff.
We figure out that question about mailboxes actually was a question about where did you get prospect email addresses, and I guess the best person to answer it, he has left, Sky, because would be correct to answer this question. So you have to gain it. You have to gain it. It's like a links, no? Where did you get your email? Your prospect emails.
Shall I answer this?
Sure.
So there are many services like YouTube is there, and then many services.
Sound is not. Is it only me? Hold on. Is it only me? Ankit, I can't really read you. Is it only me?
No, I can't. No.
Yeah.
Now you can hear me.
Mm-mm.
Try to switch off your video, so maybe it would be better, because maybe it's a connection problem or something. Because I can't really read it.
So am I audible now?
If you try to switch off your video, maybe it will be better, because it will go to audio. Try to switch off your video.
So how is it now?
Well,
am I audible? How is it now?
Okay, try to ask. No, unfortunately, yeah, it's not great. Sound is not great. Yeah, anyone else can answer the last question. Where did you get the email address? It's a big question. Yeah, Courtney. Okay, you use the speaker. What is sound?
Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to get email addresses, but we find that content is the number one. Where we're going. I was like, I know it's okay. But so you have things like contact us forms, request demos on your website. You can put assets on your website. You can have sign-ups on your blog. You can do contests on social media. I think there's 100 ways to get information, contact information through inbound marketing efforts. But if you just don't find that you're gaining traction fast enough, you don't have the money for online advertising, then you do have somebody like a company like Sky or ProspectDB where you can go and purchase data for opted-in emails. It's not spam. It's definitely a separate kind of category of email. But I mean, he would talk better about it. But from the inbound side, I think contact us forms are our number one. But we also have like a little chat thing that pops up on our website. We do online marketing. We do conversion rate optimization on our website, so we can test the creative on there and get people to sign up based on different calls to action for different forms. But yeah, I think creating content people like, doing webinars, things like that, that's a great way for people to find you online where they're not going to just stumble across your website per se. And of course, optimizing your site for SEO and for search engine optimization is going to be key for people to find you anyways. So.
Okay, guys, we've been here for, well, quite more than one hour. If you want to say something, say it now. Otherwise, thank you very much again, Courtney. Thank you very much, guys, who've been here with us. And thank you, everyone who were watching us. We'll have another webinar Thursday. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah, you would leave right now. I just switching off. Thank you very much. Thank you, and goodbye. You can all